name is Triya and I'm a junior doctor working in London. Today I'm going to be talking about how much I spend in a typical week as a 25-year-old doctor. This is kind of a hard video to film because it made me actually sit down with the numbers. I'm not sure about other careers, but definitely doctors are not the most financially savvy people that I know. We aren't really taught anything to do with money in medical school. So I'm going to talk through a typical week of work and spending and show you how much I spend. And at the end of the video, I will be talking about how much I earn and also how much I'm spending on bills and utilities and things like that. Okay, let's get into the video. Let's start with Monday. I would say that by far my biggest expenditure on a monthly basis is travel. So I work in a central London hospital, but I don't actually live in central London. I live in a place that is just north of London, and then I commute in to London every day on the train. This is very common because London is not cheap. To be honest, my commute is not too bad. So the train itself is 35 minutes or so, and the train station is just outside the hospital, which is really convenient. Overall, my journey will take me anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour, depending on if I have to walk to the station in the morning or if I get a lift. And I have a 16 to 25 rail card, which gives you a discount on your train tickets, which is really good. So the train ticket I have is a daily peak hours return, which is £16.35 with a rail card. At the moment, I am an FY2 doctor, so I'm in my second year after graduating from medical school, and I have been working as a doctor full-time for nearly 2 years. At the moment, I'm working in an oncology department, so that's a cancer department. My day consists of going on the ward round and then seeing sick patients and doing jobs. So I'm on call today and I am doing the Heme Onc ward cover SHO shift, which basically means that you are dealing with all the hematology and the oncology patients, and you're just dealing with things like emergencies or any kind of ward issues. Normally I pack leftovers during the weekdays for my lunch, so I usually just eat whatever I had for dinner yesterday. That saves a lot of money. Because this is such a long shift, I decided to treat myself with a bubble tea from Chatime, and this was £5.40, so that was all the money I spent on Monday. So Tuesday was another day working in oncology. This time it was a normal shift, which is 8:30 to 5:30 p.m. It was another £16.35 for my train ticket to work. This is the crash bleep, it is green. And then today we had a ward round ending around 1 p.m, and then in the afternoon was spent doing jobs like cannulation, ordering scans and talking to patients' families. So today in the evening I went to the BFI, which is the British Film Institute, to have a drink and watch film. It's really great because the BFI have the 16 to 25 membership where you can watch any of their films for £3, which is really affordable, and I do it really often. So I had a drink at the bar, which was £8.50. And then I watched a film which was called Do Not Expect Too Much from the End of the World, which was really funny and I recommend it. Then I bought some sushi from a local restaurant and I ate it at home in my bed, which is the perfect way to end a long day at work. This was £10.50. I have this app which I use to track my spending. I used to use an Excel spreadsheet, but to be honest, it was just too much effort to come home at the end of the day and type it all into my laptop. So I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to gathering data, especially data about myself. So I really like to look back over previous months and see how much I have been spending each month. Today I didn't have to go into work because I had a day off in lieu. So this is because I worked a bank holiday previously and I am just taking my day off in lieu today. The thing about being a junior doctor is that you have to adhere to a rota. So if you are rotated to work a bank holiday, then you don't really have much choice in the matter and you have to work it. But the good thing is that you do get a day off in lieu. As a doctor, I don't really normally get a lot of days off during the week, and it's nice to get lots of errands and things done. So today I went to the supermarket to get some snacks for my upcoming on-calls. I think buying snacks in bulk and in advance before your shifts is way cheaper than buying things from Costa or from M&S when you're in the hospital. And if you've got snacks in your bag, then you're less likely to impulse buy a lot of snacks. So I had to pick up some things from Boots, and then I went to the bookstore and I ended up buying this really interesting book which was about the history of female doctors in India, which I thought was really interesting. Then I went home and I worked on my e-portfolio, which is something that we have to fill in as junior doctors in training. I then got a subscription for a question bank for a postgraduate exam, which I am planning to sit in the near future. So a 6-month subscription for this question bank was £60, which I thought was not unreasonable. Postgraduate exams are a whole other topic within medicine, and they are compulsory exams that you have to sit in order to go through training and become a specialist, for example, a cardiologist or a psychiatrist. These exams are compulsory and they're also expensive, and you have to pay for them yourself as a doctor. They can be several hundreds of pounds, and often they're very difficult to pass, so people don't pass them on the first attempt. Postgraduate exams and revision materials and revision courses are a big expenditure in a doctor's journey, and that's something that we don't really get told much about in medical school. Certainly not the fact that you have to pay for all of these compulsory exams. So Thursday was another train into London, so that's another £16.35. And then today was another normal day in the oncology department. Each week we get assigned a different team within oncology, which is based on the cancer site. For example, the cancers of the gut and cancers of the lung will be one team, and then brain tumours will be a different team. It really depends from week to week and day to day how busy your day is on the ward. Thankfully this week the team that I was on was not too busy, so today I had time to go out and have lunch in one of the local cafes. I paid £8.25 for this salad, which I do not think is worth it. So I learnt my lesson, and although it was nice to go outside, I definitely wouldn't buy this again. And because of that, I didn't buy any more food today, and I just went home and had dinner at home. Friday was the last day of the working week for me, which was really nice. The current rota that I'm in, I work around 1 in every 4 weekends, so it's nice that I'm not working this weekend. My train to work was another £16.35. Spent the day at work. Then afterwards I hung out with my sister and we went roller skating. This is something that we've been doing for 10-15 years. My sister is a student, so I pay for all of her food and tickets and things like that when we're hanging out together. Roller skating was £15.12 for 2 tickets. Saturday was my day off, and I decided to go into London and to go to the Tate Modern, which is a really great art gallery. I paid for my sister and myself to go into London. It was 2 times £7.30 for off-peak train tickets with a rail card, so that is £14.60 for our travel in. Then the exhibit was £5 each for 25 and under tickets. It was an exhibit by Kusama, which is one of my favourite artists. We then went to a sushi restaurant, and it's a relatively unknown sushi restaurant. The restaurant is really small, but it is some of the best sushi I've had in London, and it's probably the 3rd or 4th time that I've been there. We had a lot of sushi and we ended up bringing quite a lot of it home, but I paid £46.60 for myself and my sister, which I think is okay because that's £23-ish per person for a lot of sushi that I ended up eating for a couple of days afterwards. We then got donuts from Krispy Kreme, which was £7.20 for 2 donuts, which I don't know if it was worth it, but it was a mint Oreo donut. Finally, we're on to Sunday, and Sunday was a day that I just spent at home. I didn't spend any money. I did a bit of admin and writing that I was putting off for the rest of the week. I think now is a good time to talk about all the other bills and expenses that I have, and also I will talk about my salary as a junior doctor working in London. In terms of my subscriptions, and I'm just reading them off my laptop here, my phone bill is £34.56 per month, which includes the price of the phone, and that is £8.64 per week. Then my Apple Music subscription, which I pay for the family subscription for my entire family, so that is £16.99 per month or £4.25 per week. I then pay Google storage, which is £79.99 a year and £1.67 per week. Then I have a subscription to the BMA, which is the British Medical Association, which is the trade union for doctors. That subscription is £20 a month for the level of doctor that I am at the moment, which is £5 a week. I then pay £10 a month for the hospital mess subscription, so this is for the common room area in the hospital, and it's sometimes, not always, there are some snacks and water and things like that there. So that is £10 a month, which is £2.50 a week. So let's now look at everything that I spent this week. The total expenditure for this week is £291.44. If we break that down into categories, that is £91.89 on food, which is very expensive actually, but I did end up eating out a lot more than I would this week, and I also paid for my sister. Then £80 on travel, which I actually thought this would be a lot higher because it feels like I'm spending so much money every day on the train. Lifestyle, which I'm just including things like shopping and also the question bank subscription and things like that, that is £97.49. My bills comes to £22.06. So overall that is £291.44 for the week. So in terms of salary, my salary varies every month based on what job I am doing at the moment. So in oncology, it's a very busy rota with lots and lots of on-calls. So I'm paid more than I would be paid on a community placement where my on-calls are less. I have a lot of night shifts in this rotation, which means my salary is boosted a little bit. My monthly salary for this month was £2,767.33. That's take-home pay. So that comes to £691.83 for the week. I think the biggest thing which is missing from my expenditure, which you've probably noticed, is rent or a mortgage. So I'm really lucky that I'm able to live at home in my family home with my parents. This is really good because although I don't live in London, I live close enough to London that I can still commute in every day, and that's reasonable to do. This is really great because it means that I save on rent, which I understand I'm super privileged to be able to do that. Although I am mid-20s now and I lived away from home for the 6 years of medical school, since I've been working full-time as a doctor, I have been living at home. So that's for the last 2 years. Living at home with your parents in your 20s is a very widely accepted practice in many cultures, and I think it's getting more common in England just because of the cost of living and how expensive it is to find rent, especially in somewhere like central London. The benefits are huge in the fact that I am not spending money on rent every month and I can save some money for a deposit on a flat in the future. The downside is that I have to commute several hours a day. When I was commuting to my first hospital in my FY1 year, my commute was 1.5 hours each way, so I was travelling for 3 hours in total. It meant that I had to get up at 5:30 every morning to go to work. This may not sound like it's worth it, but it's definitely something I felt like was worth it because of the money I was saving. The reason why I wanted to make this video was just to give you an idea of what it is maybe like to be an adult who's working in London, and actually most people I know who are from London or from nearby actually do live at home because otherwise it's not very affordable. London is definitely one of the most expensive cities to live in the UK and maybe even the world. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.